Hello everyone, this is Johnny C. Walker, and here we are at the Deong Museum for the Art of Manga exhibit. For this particular video, I'll be covering the One Piece only start to finish letterpress and publishing. We start off with the layering of pink, yellow, and blue inks. This meticulous coloring process of the One Piece Volume 100 cover continues with cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And here we have a photo of the Bishodo Itabashi factory in Tokyo. Although it's common knowledge that most of the streets in Japan are clean, I have a feeling that this photo is of a display or a diorama of the aforementioned factory. And here we have the proof and font samples of One Piece Chapter 1000. And speaking of 1000, do you remember how many shadows Gecko Moria absorbed in his final fight with the Straw Hats at Thriller Bark? The answer is on Luffy's crown. And here's a sample of a submission envelope for original manga manuscripts to be submitted to Shueisha, the publisher of One Piece and many other famous mangas. By the way, is it mangas or manga? I think both are acceptable plural forms, but the most common term is manga. For typesetting and preparing camera-ready data, we have a photo taken by Naoki Hanjo. These transparent films with scanned magazine manuscript data for transfer to photosensitive resin plates for printing are done at the Kyoto Printing Headquarters in Tokyo. Being a collector and an owner of some signed prints, mangas, original skishi, and other artwork including animated cells and gengas, my heart couldn't help but sound off with some Skypiea thunders and drums of liberation. And perhaps someday, if by any chance, Oda Sensei and Shueisha decide to print replicas, official replicas of these films for collectors and fans like ourselves to own, it would be pretty exciting to own at least one piece of history. And for the fans, they had some Ichiban show figures at the One Piece merchandise booth, along with some other things such as mangas, acrylics, blind bags that contain can badges, some postcards, many other things as well. And here is my Art of Manga binder. It's a personal binder. And it has one of the color spreads, a postcard of one of the color spreads done by Oda Sensei himself on the cover. Here is a painting I did of Luffy that I wanted to give to Oda Sensei if ever he was there, but yeah, I guess I have more time to make something better. And yes, here are the blind bags that I've been itching to get. They didn't have that many left when I came by for these. They did have like the collection, a whole binder of these prints, these letterpress prints, but it was pretty expensive, and this was all I could afford at the time. And first off, we have this very first letterpress with Luffy punching the One Piece only sign. And I guess for those who have seen season 2 of the One Piece live action, or are like, seasoned anime viewers or audiences of the One Piece anime, we have this scene with Tony Chopper's farewell at Drum Island, finally joining the Straw Hat pirates and saying goodbye to Dr. Goreha, who, by the way, really, really loves Tony Chopper, whether or not she admits it. Here she is. And for the second print, we have Luffy delivering a horizontal punch, making impact on the One Piece only logo as well. I really love these sketch lines. They're very, very Oda Sensei. And yeah, the second print was of ta-da! Our two friends, Brogy and Dory. Spoiler alert for those who haven't seen this scene. But yeah, I'm not gonna translate it. I guess you'll just come across this as you continue reading the manga. And here they are in all their colossal glory. I really love this scene. It was in the anime, and I was so excited to see them again. And also in the nick of time too. The thing I really love and appreciate about these letterpress prints, these large letterpress prints, is that you are given a very wide view, a very wide angle of all the intricate lines that Oda Sensei himself put into each and every panel. And having such a point of view, you're given a better sense of the dynamism, the motion, and the impact of the objects that he had drawn. And it feels almost as if you yourself are within the pages and the panels of these stories and scenes that unfold in front of you. And on top of that, as an artist who draws knowledge, wisdom, technique, passion, and inspiration, and all the sorts of things from other people's artworks, and especially from those of my favorite artists. Owning a replica of a manuscript, especially one as large as this, I'm able to actually have a sense of how much time, dedication, and thought Oda Sensei and his team put into each and every panel of the stories that they put in the manga. And last but not least, here is my favorite print. I like them all actually. I like all three of them, but this is my favorite of Gear for Luffy, Snake Man version, versus Katakuri Charlotte. If you are reading from a regular sized manga or even from the Shonen Jump magazine, there are some details in this image that you won't be able to actually see that well looking at those pieces. But yeah, now you get to appreciate a larger scale or a larger version of the manga panels and the drawings, the art that they've painstakingly put together. And to close this video off, here is an exclusive print of an original sketch done by Oda Sensei for the Natsukomi event. The Shueisha Natsukomi event is a summer comic convention held in Japan. So yeah, these are still a little bit easier to find right now. I highly recommend getting one piece, while they're still affordable. And that's about it for this video of the art of manga and the One Piece only exhibit. This is Johnny Seawalker signing out. Remember, you and I, we are the light of the world. Spread love, warmth, and kindness always. Bye-bye.